Hello, basketball fans, and welcome to today's show where we will be talking about all the latest news in the world of NBA. But first, a reminder about our brand new giveaway. We're giving away a PS5 with a copy of NBA 2K22 and Madden 22. All you have to do is watch the full video, leave a like, comment the keyword hidden in the video, and make sure you're subscribed. It's that simple. News ranging from LeBron's injury and the impact of the same on his season to news about how he influenced a star transfer to the team. Stick around to find out all these and more. First, Harden and the Sixers agree on a new deal. James Harden has been the best unrestricted free agent since the beginning of free agency, but that comes with a huge asterisk. Harden was always going to come back to the Philadelphia 76ers, but he turned down a $47.2 million player option at the end of June and waited to talk about a new contract until the Sixers were done with their other business. This gave them more freedom. In the end, Harden took a pay cut of a little more than $14 million compared to his player option for 2022-23. This allowed Philadelphia to use the larger non-taxpayer mid-level exception and the biannual exception, both of which put the 76ers under a hard cap of $157 million, which is about $6.7 million more than the luxury tax line. This season, Philly can't pay more than that salary because Harden didn't take the full amount the Sixers had left under the hard cap. They still have some room to add salary during the year. The Sixers will have between $4.5 million and $4.8 million available, depending on which of their four players with contracts that are not fully guaranteed. Charles Bassey, Isaiah Joe, Trevelyan Queen, and Paul Reed get released to get the roster down to 15 players with full NBA contracts by opening night. If Philadelphia instead trades a player with a guaranteed contract to get down to 15, that number would go up. The 76ers could also use Harden's pay cut to avoid having to pay the luxury tax this season and put off having to pay the repeater tax. Philly has paid the tax for the past 2 years, so if they do it again this season, they will have to pay the bigger repeater tax fines for 2023-24. The Sixers could try to avoid the luxury tax by trading either Furkan Korkmaz or Matisse Thybulle. This could also free up a roster spot for a buyout pick after the trade deadline. Next, Boston Celtics' Jason Tatum, responding to Kevin Durant trade speculation, says, "I love our team, doesn't wear GM hat." As rumors about Kevin Durant's future continue to swirl in the NBA, Jason Tatum, a star swingman for the Boston Celtics, said that he respects Durant's game but is happy with how his team is right now. Tatum said on Tuesday night before the premiere of the Showtime documentary, "I played with Durant during the Olympics. Point gods. He's a great player, but that's not up to me to decide. I really like our team. I really like the guys we have." Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN said on early Monday that the Celtics were one of the teams talking to the Nets about Durant's availability. Last month, the two-time Finals MVP asked to be traded from Brooklyn. Tatum said he doesn't make anything of it to talk about Durant and the Celtics, and he stressed several times during a short question and answer session with a small group of reporters that he is happy with the way Boston's roster is right now. Tatum said, "We got two new pieces in Malcolm Brogdon and Danilo Gallinari. I really like our team. I just go out and play with the rest of my team. I don't make decisions by putting on that general manager hat." The documentary's executive producer, Durant, didn't stop to talk to reporters. He quickly walked into the theater after taking a few photos on the red carpet. Rich Kleeman, who works with Durant in business and is also an executive producer on the documentary, would not talk about the star's wish to be traded. Moving on, Oklahoma City Thunder hiring shooting guru Chip Engelland as assistant coach, sources say. Sources told ESPN on Wednesday that the Oklahoma City Thunder will hire Chip Engelland, who was known as the best shooting coach in the NBA, as an assistant coach. Engelland joined the Thunder after 17 years with the San Antonio Spurs. There he helped young players like Kawhi Leonard, Tony Parker, and Dejounte Murray improve their shooting, as well as other players like Richard Jefferson. Sources say Engelland, 61, left the Spurs because he and the team couldn't agree on a new contract. He has been one one of the best paid assistant coaches in the league for a long time. Englund and Sam Presti, who is the general manager of the Thunder, met in San Antonio in the middle of the 2000s. When Englund joins the Thunder, the team already has a lot of young talent, and more is likely to come. Englund will work on Mark Dugnal's coaching staff to help the young team's shooters get better at their skills. In another move, the Thunder are hiring Vince Roseman from the Philadelphia 76ers to be the vice president of identification and intelligence for scouting, ESPN sources say. Roseman worked in Philadelphia for more than 15 years, starting as an intern and ending as a vice president. Through the 2029 draft, the Thunder have 15 first-round picks and 13 second-round picks, including all 7 of their own firsts. In other related news, Boston Celtics among teams to engage in talks with Brooklyn Nets on possible Kevin Durant deal, sources say. Kevin Durant, a star player for the Brooklyn Nets, has been asking to be traded for almost a week. ESPN has heard from sources that the Boston Celtics are one of the teams in talks about a possible deal. The Celtics don't seem to be any closer to getting Durant than other teams in talks with the Nets. However, sources say that Boston's ability to include all-star forward Jaylen Brown as a key part of offers makes the team strong in its pursuit. It is well known that the Miami Heat, Phoenix Suns, and Toronto Raptors are all interested in Durant to varying degrees. However, sources say that the Celtics have also been in regular contact with the Nets. Sources say that there are no deals in the works for Durant, and that no team has yet reached the high bar that the Nets have set to trade one of the best players in the league. The Nets' position on a possible trade hasn't changed much. Sources say that they want a huge return for Durant that could include multiple unprotected first-round picks, pick swaps, and important players. The Celtics won't trade all NBA forward Jason Tatum, but they could make a deal for Durant that includes Brown, as many as 3 unprotected first-round picks in 2025, 27, and 29, and 2 pick swaps 2024 and 26. Brown's current contract has 2 years and $56 million left on it. Durant, who has been an NBA All-Star 12 times and the MVP of the NBA Finals twice, asked for a trade on June 30th and hasn't changed his mind. At age 33, Durant has 4 years and $198 million left on his contract. This means Brooklyn can be patient and wait for teams to offer the kind of return it thinks will eventually come for a star player on the trade market in his prime. Finally, Milwaukee Bucks executive Alex Lessery drops out of Wisconsin's U.S. Senate race. Alex Lessery, the owner of the Milwaukee Bucks, dropped out of the race for the U.S. Senate in Wisconsin on Wednesday, less than 2 weeks before the Democratic primary that will decide who will run against the Republican U.S. Senator Ron Johnson. Lessery's departure makes Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes the top Democratic candidate in the hotly contested primary for what is expected to be one of the toughest Senate races of the year. The race in Wisconsin, which Donald Trump narrowly won in 2016 but lost in 2020 by almost the same number of votes, could decide which party has a majority in the 50-50 Senate. Barnes has been ahead in public polls, which all showed that he and Lessery were in a close race. This week, Barnes' campaign put out an internal poll that shows that Barnes is 14 points ahead of Lessery. Lessery said he decided to drop out after talking with Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin on Tuesday night. If you look at the numbers, it was just not there. In the last 7 to 10 days, there have been a few signs that Mandela's support has continued to grow, Lessery said. When we realized there was no path forward, we wanted to make sure we did everything we could to put our party in the best position to beat Ron Johnson, Sarah Goldowski, the state treasurer, and a few other candidates who are not as well known as Barnes are still in the race. On Monday, Tom Nelson, the county executive of Outagamie, quit the race and backed Barnes. Thad Nation, who works for Lessery's campaign, said that Lessery will back Barnes. Barnes said in a statement that he was happy to have Lessery's support and that he thought of Lessery as a friend. Lessery, who is 35 years old, put more than $12,300,000 of his own money into the race. The Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel was the first to report that he was going to drop out. This was on Wednesday. Even though both Lessery and Nelson are ending their campaigns this week, their names will still be on the ballot for the primary. On Tuesday, people in the state could start voting absentee in person. That's all we have for our very limited time today. However, make sure to subscribe for more NBA news in the future.